Okay, back for another video. This one is going to be expectations versus reality. And I'm going to be brutally honest in this video, and it might offend some people, so I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm not speaking about anyone specifically. I'm not calling out anyone specifically. This is just me observing things that I've seen. Okay, so this is where I might offend somebody right off the bat. But hopefully this will be able to help you understand where I'm coming from. So I never wanted to be that chick who cried over her birth plan not going according to plan. I thought it was so stupid that you make a birth plan, things don't go according to plan, and then you cry ridiculous amounts over it. Birth is so unpredictable, and I thought people were just silly for crying over the fact that they ended up with an unplanned C-section. It's just like, no shit, birth is unpredictable. It's like that. So I created a very rough birth plan. Didn't really go into too much detail. I just said, like the things that were important to me. Like I wanted delayed cord clamping. I wanted skin to skin immediately. I did not want certain vaccines given, like the newborn ones. She did have a vitamin K shot. I wanted her breastfed immediately. No eye drops, like things like that. It was in the aftercare plan when I went into every freaking little detail. I did not want them to bath her at all. I wanted to wait until we came home because I didn't want to dry out her skin. I wanted them to massage in the leftover vernix instead of just wiping it away because it's really good for their skin. It makes it nice and soft. Like I went very, very specific with my aftercare plan. And then when things didn't go according to plan, I lost it. Completely lost it. The aftercare you have a lot more control over than you do the birth. And I thought, like nothing is going to go wrong in the aftercare plan because I have control over it. Little did I realize I had zero control. I wanted all newborn procedures done in my presence. None were done in my presence. But I'm not heartbroken over that. I'm heartbroken over the fact that breastfeeding did not happen for us. I had lost so much blood, and I keep saying that line over and over again, but for those of you who may have never seen a video from me, I had a really traumatic recovery from my C-section. I lost a lot of blood. My blood count was at a 72 and critical low was at a 60, so I was at a concerned stage where they were about to transfuse me. And I was so weak and so tired that I just wasn't able to breastfeed her. I was just way too tired, and that sounds like such a cop-out excuse. But when you can't even take care of your child for the first 3 days of her life, it makes you feel like a complete shitty mom. I couldn't change her diaper until she was 3 days old. I could barely hold her without assistance until she was 3 days old. Till the day we were bringing her home from the hospital is when I started taking care of her. The first 3 days of her life, Matthew did everything, and I mean everything. So for him, he was like the mother. I mean, dads usually go to the hospital and learn through watching the moms and things like that. Nope, he was all on his own. He was chucked into fatherhood, and I was so tired. And then, of course, having low blood and having the recovery that I did and lack of sleep, I really wasn't getting a lot of milk, and I tried to pump today and I got nothing. So we were doing good after we left the hospital, but then because we had to supplement with formula, she got nipple confusion and she refused to latch. I try to latch her, and very, very rarely she will latch on for like a total of 2 minutes. The other times I try to nurse her, she screams bloody murder like I'm killing her, and it breaks my heart how she just wants nothing to do with breastfeeding. It just kills me. And I got really, really bad baby blues, which I didn't think that I would get. I thought that, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be the girl who has the baby blues or the postpartum depression. I understood that you would get hormone drops, but I didn't expect to feel as horrible as I did about not being able to nurse her. I was made to feel like a complete piece of crap by the nurses in the hospital. I felt really, really jealous of everyone on my Facebook who could nurse their child. I hated it. It was World Breastfeeding Week in the beginning of August, and I just couldn't handle it. I was really, really jealous. I became really, really depressed. I started shutting myself out from the world. And you know, that's not what I expected. I dealt with infertility for 7.5 years. I did not expect to feel that depressed over an aftercare plan not going the way I wanted it. So in the beginning of this video, by me saying I didn't understand why chicks cried over their birth plan not going according to plan, I get that now. I totally get it. You have something happen to you that you don't want and that you didn't see coming, and your hormones get in the way and you get really, really, really depressed over it. I get that now. A lot of people were complaining they didn't want the C-section that they got. I wanted to breastfeed, and it never happened for me. And I totally get the heartache now and the depression. We were supposed to have my placenta encapsulated, but because we had some serious health problems with the cat, he had a vet bill that was sky high, and that had to go on the back burner, my placenta encapsulation. So that's still sitting in my deep freezer for the time being until we can get the extra money to get it encapsulated. And it's not that much money, but to be honest, I have not had an income since the 26th of July, and I'm just starting to get income now from being off of work. My unemployment insurance finally has come in, and it's like the 21st of August. I just got it yesterday. So, I mean, I was expecting to be that girl who was so happy after birth and not so miserable. I was expecting to have this wonderful vaginal birth that never happened. And one of my friends on my personal Facebook recently had a baby girl. They're exactly a month apart, Ellie and her. And she posted that she successfully delivered her daughter without an epidural. And instantly, just like that, it made me feel like a complete failure. Even though I have absolutely no regrets with my C-section. She was wrapped in her cord 4 times. And if I had to try a vaginal delivery, it could have been a life or death situation, being wrapped in her cord that many times. So I don't regret my C-section. It's just like, why couldn't that be me? So I expected not to be the chick that cried over her birth either, and I totally am that girl that cries over her birth. I never expected to get really frustrated really easily, and I totally blame that on the low energy that I have from having a low blood count. When she cries and cries and cries and I don't know what to do, I get just so crazy overwhelmed. Well, I shouldn't say I used to get crazy overwhelmed. I had to have my mother here every day for 3 weeks of her life, actually 4 weeks of her life, because I couldn't look after her by myself. Again, that made me feel like such a shit mom. I could not handle it. I would almost say that I had postpartum depression. There were times where I had thought to myself, if I hung from a rope today, it would not surprise me. And please don't take that like word for word. I would never do that. I would never hurt myself. I would never hurt my child. I'm just saying, like, the events that took place that day, if it led to me hanging from a rope, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyways, I know it sounds really, really dark, but I just really didn't expect to feel any of these feelings or, like, think that I would be physically unable to care for my child after dealing with infertility for 7.5 years. It really shocked the hell out of me to know that I wondered if she even should be around me because of how crappy of a mom I was. At least that's how I felt anyways. My husband and my mom and my dad and all of his family tried to reassure me, you're a great mom, you're doing the best you can, but when you're doing the minimal, like changing diapers and feeding, and you can't really, like, I couldn't hold her like this, I was just so tired, all I wanted to do was go to sleep, so I had somebody else here to watch her, like, never expected that, and never expected to feel like, maybe this was a mistake that God allowed me to get pregnant. And not saying that she's a mistake, I would never say that, but maybe it was a mistake that she got me as a mother because I am a shitty mother and I can't do this. And I am so happy to say that I am feeling 100 times better than I did a couple weeks ago, and I am so confident in myself. And I am so happy to say that those feelings are no longer there, but it really throws you for a loop, especially when you have dealt with infertility for that long, and to think these things, and to think that you're a shitty mom and you don't deserve her, and she deserves a lot better, and wow. Especially when having a baby is all you've ever wanted and you're so upset about it. Not about having a baby, but you're so upset about the chain of events that happen. So, honestly, it took me being away from her overnight to gain that mama bear instinct where I can get up in the middle of the night, no problem. I can handle her in the daytime if she cries her head off because she's frustrated. I can do it. I believe in myself. I know that breastfeeding, I can give that another try if we have another baby. I know that formula is not the devil, and I shouldn't be made to feel like it is, especially by those stupid nurses at the hospital. I know I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm doing a freaking good job, I think. I know I am. I know I'm doing a good job because I'm doing the best that I can. And she's loved, she's changed, she's fed, she's happy, and that's all that matters. She's safe, she's sleeping here on my arm, just being a little sweetheart. I love her so much. So yeah, that's expectations versus reality, and I bet you didn't see that one coming. So I will talk to you another day for another video.